Hey everyone! Hey everybody! Hey Leiva! Hey Little Havana District! How's everyone doing? Oh, it's Doreen! Hello everybody! Oh, see Carlos here! Okay, I'm gonna get started. So, hello everyone. My name is Luisana Zambrano here again. I am a program associate at Radical Partners and a proud member of the organizing team of the 10 Days of Connection. So, welcome to our 8th edition of our 10 Minutes to Talk series, where we'll be having 10 conversations around 10 topics with 10 different hosts that participating during the 2021 10 Days of Connection. So, for our new friends joining, the 10 Days of Connection is an initiative that challenges the entire community to engage in acts of connections and break silos to cross lines of difference. So since 2017, for 10 days every May, dozens of organizations have built safe spaces for thousands of locals to engage in meaningful conversations, build empathy, and strengthen our community's sense of belonging. So today, we'll be talking about Asian generations with Carlos Vazquez from Miami EdTech. I see he's here. So while I invite him to the conversation, please let us know in the chat how you're doing today. Yes, Leiva, Miami Attack is in the house. Hi, Dre. Carlos,
Hey, how's it
how you
going?
doing?
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. So we're gonna get it started, Carlos, that we have you here.
Yep.
So Carlos, so our 8 minutes to talk. Here's our first question. So can you please tell us a little more about yourself, about Miami EdTech, and the 10 days topic that you focused on for this year?
Yeah, for sure. Allergies are kind of driving me a little crazy, so my voice is raspy. It's not a filter effect, just to let you all know. Um, but my name is Carlos Vasquez. I founded Miami EdTech about 4 years ago with the idea that how can we build a better connection between what the industry, specifically the tech industry, expects and our education system. So my background, I started off formally as a teacher in New York City, in the Bronx, where I was born and raised. And I've been in Miami almost 12 years now, which is kind of crazy. I blinked my eyes, and it's been 12 years. So we've been working with the school district. We've been working really closely with the career and technical education department, with local colleges. I teach also at Miami-Dade College to just really try to rethink how do we get teachers access to training and modern curriculum in a way that is not just relying on the traditional curriculum, process. So that's what we've been doing. We've been really fortunate. We've trained almost 2,500 teachers who we've given to training or curriculum. We've helped teachers pass industry certifications exams. And as you can imagine, education and teachers, you see generation has an impact on like what they know what they can bring to the classroom. So the topic that we did in exploring age and generations is one that's lately we've been really exploring, right? Because we say that our students are digital natives, but a lot of our teachers aren't. The average age of a teacher in the country is about 45, 47. So, there could be just a natural disconnect that happened just by way of, what we had available to us. So that's what we've been up to.
Thank you so much, Carlos. And I was part of the 10 Days of Connection event that they hosted
Yes.
alongside Microsoft Teams. So for those who weren't there, can you please share with us what was the connection experience about?
Oh yeah, one of the things that I've lately in the past couple of years like to do is to pop up in arenas where you don't normally expect to talk about education and talk about education, right? Because education is such a shared experience for us, but it's also going to be relevant to where you grew up, how you were raised, and uh, yeah, basically. So when you bring people together who have their own experience in education, as educators, which a lot of times you'll be in a room and someone maybe taught for a year, or they tutor, or they want to find a way to get involved. So I think we had a really interesting mix of people there who, I think the common fabric was to explore like what can we do together as a system, as a collective. And it starts with conversations. It starts with hearing experiences and having people share their authentic journeys. And I think that's one thing that really came out of the experience. People from different backgrounds, different countries, reflecting on their educational background. And for the most part, I believe most people were in Miami for that one, people who attended. So I think the shared story was that we're in South Florida, so we got to help people understand the ecosystem that maybe they don't often hear about. Because, for example, like our students are almost 78% identify as Hispanic, and about 19% identify as Black African American, which is a very different demographics than the rest of the country. And because our teachers also really reflect that. So I think when you bring people together and you kind of share some data in a way that people normally don't see it, which typically spans across age and generation, it just creates a really great collisions and ideas. So yeah, that's what we spent the topic talking about.
Yes, and I hear that you were saying it was important to bring people together to understand the topic itself.
Yeah.
So, like my next question would be like, what do you hope participants would get out of this connection experience, and like also people like hearing this conversation right now?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, when we shared some, well, the topic was leveling the playing field, right? So we wanted to explore, and leveling the playing field in education means a lot. I mean, there's so many things you have to think about: social components, things related to mental health, academic component, things related to career readiness, and then workforce stuff. So which is also basically a hot topic right now, like especially in South Florida, where we have this influx of tech businesses that are coming here, and if we don't make sure that our pipeline, our most important pipeline, which is free public school education, if we don't make sure that they're connected to industry and relevant material, then we're just going to perpetuate this digital divide. So I think everyone that shared reflected about their experience with the divide, and what they may have been, what they're doing to address the digital divide. And that was the goal, was to bring people together, look at the past. As we all know, history repeats itself. So how do we leverage the insight and the experience and wisdom, the collective wisdom of the group, to just have the dialogue. So that was the goal. That's what we did. And there were several meetings that happened afterwards. People who wanted to volunteer to just speak in classrooms with teachers. And it was just a great way to, again, bring that authentic dialogue.
Great. And it ties to the last question, and you said it, like what happened after attendance and connection, that people wanted to volunteer, like collaborate with Miami EdTech. So this is the next question. How can we keep the conversation going? Is there any resources or any social media handles that we can reach out to Miami EdTech?
Of course. Willie, for example, Willie, who joined me, Willie Orozco, who was a high school teacher, and now he works for Microsoft Teals. And Teals is a program that helps bring computer science to schools. For example, we brought the Teals program to Miami about 2 years ago. And an example of what we were able to achieve is we brought a computer science program to Booker T. Washington, the oldest high school, might even be the oldest public school in the city of Miami, in all of Miami, if I'm not mistaken. But anyhow, for the first time, we were able to bring volunteers who work at Microsoft, who work side by side with teachers to help them deliver this curriculum. So we want people who are interested in, they might know someone who is a computer scientist or who works in technology. Our website, miamiedtech.com, our contact page. Would love to hear from folks who want to volunteer, because you'd be surprised. I mean, all it takes is a 30-minute conversation with a group of students to inspire them, especially if we could bring in folks who look like our students. It helps them feel more connected to what the outcomes that we want for them are. Because if you don't know what the outcomes are available, how do you create your path? So we need folks to get involved in our website, contact, or send us a DM, Miami EdTech, and we'd love to connect.
Thank you so much, Carlos.
Of
And that
course.
was
Thank
our
you.
last question. That has
Cool.
been 10 minutes. And now everybody knows like where to connect with Miami EdTech, and keep supporting their mission to bring education technology for our youth in Miami. And
Yes.
leveling the playing field, as you were saying during the 10 days of connection event. So thank you so much, Carlos, for
No,
being here with
thank
us.
you and for your amazing team. I see some amazing teammates on right now for spearheading it, for putting it together. I think it's such an important part now of our like yearly collective experience for Miami and South Florida. So thank you all. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Carlos. And for everyone watching, like we see you next week for our other 10 minutes of talk. We'll be talking about money and income. So we'll see you next week. And thank you so
Nice.
much, Carlos. Thank
Take
you,
care,
everyone
everyone.
watching. Bye.